What's up guys, and welcome back to part 19 of this Mercedes minibus campervan conversion. So in today's episode I was actually hoping to start building up the kitchen area, but the fridge I was going to fit in here, it wasn't quite as nice as I thought it was going to be. So I've got a brand new 12 volt compressor fridge on order, but that's not going to be here until next week. So I can't really do much with the kitchen side of things at the moment until that's here, because I still need to get the worktop, I need to get some Conti board to box in the new fridge, things like that. So that'll probably be in next week's episode, as long as everything arrives during the week as it should do. So in the meantime, I'm going to be cracking on and continuing with some more of the electronics that I started off last episode. In the last episode I managed to get the 12 volt fuse box and the solar controller wired in, as well as testing the lights in the living area as well. So today I'm going to be fitting in the 240 volt hookup unit into the side of the van, getting all the cables fed up into a 240 volt consumer unit. Then that's going to be going off and feeding some 240 volt sockets, and I'm also going to be getting the Victron multi connected up to the 240 volt as well, so that can act as both an inverter and a battery charger, depending on whether you're on hookup or you're just wild camping, things like that as well. Now, as you can see on there, that's the solar output that I've had during the week, and with this being a Bluetooth controller, hook it up to your phone and you can see exactly how much power has been generated throughout the week. And as you can see, just with the one panel that's been connected, I've still been getting 90 watts, and this is still in mid-February as well, so that's not bad considering the time of the year and the fact I've only got one panel on as well. So as I say, this week's episode I'm going to be getting a bit more of the electronics sorted out as well. I'm going to try and get the switch in for the bedroom, the switch in for the bathroom as well, get some of the cabling tidied up for the living area as well, because that was just loosely fit, just to make sure that all the lights are working. But as you can see, they're all coming on and off as they should do. So I'm going to crack on, get some more of the electrics done. As I say, first things first, I'll probably get the 240 volt cut into the side of the vehicle and get those cables fed up. Then we'll get the consumer unit fitted in and see what else we can get done as part of this episode. Might be a few other bits and bobs done as well, just because, as I say, I'm waiting for further kitchen bits, so I might as well try and get a few other smaller little jobs done while I can, while I'm waiting to crack on with some of the bigger jobs as well. I do also have a split charge relay here as well, so I might try and get that fitted in this episode as well. And everything that I'm fitting in this conversion and in these episodes will be linked in the description below. So if you have to save the solar controller, hookup points, consumer units, things like that, even batteries, check the link below. That'll go off to eBay, where I've bought all of my previous bits and bobs for this conversion. So I'm going to get some safety gear out, some tools out, start cutting some holes in the side of the vehicle for the hookup point, and we'll get cracked on for the day. Right, so there's the hole cut in the side body panel for the outlet for the 240 volt, and I've just cut out a little bit of 12mm ply as well that's going to sit on the underside of this, because obviously this is just a relatively thin ply panel, and if that's just getting screwed straight to the ply panel, there's the chances, sorry, to the fiberglass, there's the chances that the fiberglass might just crack away over time, whereas with a bit of supporting ply on the back, it's just going to add that little bit of extra mounting strength, just to be sure that it's not going to affect any of the fiberglass strength or anything like that. So that'll get secured on the underside of the fiberglass panel. Then we'll get this screwed in, and then we'll be able to get all the wiring connected up. Right, so I've just fed the 240 volt cable down through from the flooring. Figured it would be easier to get it all connected and wired up now, rather than getting this in place and having to crawl underneath the bus to be able to then connect all the wiring up. So that's all the wiring connected up in the hookup point. I've just got to put the back cover back on now, then we'll get it into the hole, secure it in, then we'll get the cabling done on the consumer side of things. Right guys, so that's the consumer unit in place. I haven't got any of the outlets wired in yet, because obviously I haven't got any of the plugs in place. But that is the actual hookup connected to the hookup in the side of the vehicle as well. So the only thing I've got left to do now is put a couple of the connections on that are going to be going across to the plugs, but obviously that's when the plugs are actually in place. And I need to get a bit more of the kitchen created and built, because the plugs will probably be going in this wall and maybe along there as well. We'll have a look when it's all in place. So in the meantime, I'm going to get both of the solar panels connected up to the controller. At the moment only one panel is connected up, so I bought a couple of the Y splitting connectors. I'll be able to connect both the positives and the negatives to each of these, and then I'll be able to get these connected up into the controller. And then that means that instead of just having 270 watts at the moment, we'll have potentially 540 watts going through the solar controller. So I'm going to disconnect the previous panel that I put on just to get these batteries fully charged, get them connected up into the Y splitters, get the splitters connected up, then that'll be another job ticked off. Right, so I've been cracking on with a bit more of the electrics. I've got the dimmer in the living area all wired in and working. I've also got the dimmer for the bathroom in working. Again, that's dimming all the way down and back to full brightness and off again as well. So for the rest of the day, I'm just going to be doing some odd bits and bobs that all need doing at the end of the day. Things like putting the cladding up in the top of the overhead cupboards in here, like I have done in that one. Got a little bit of extra cladding to put in the back of the overhead cabinets in here, again just to tidy up the edges where there wasn't quite enough space for a full width one. So again, I'm going to cut some of these cladding bits down, just to tidy up the inside of the overhead cabinets as well. And again, all of these are also going to get some of the PVC cladding inside as well. So as I say, the rest of the day is just going to be doing bits of odd jobs, odds and ends, all bits and bobs that still need doing, but not particularly worthy of an entire video dedicated to them. So as I say, I'm just going to crack on, try and sweep up a lot of these little daft odds and ends jobs. Then we might be able to do a little bit more dedicated job tomorrow, we'll see. But in the meantime, I'm going to get cracked on and get these cupboards finished off. Right, so there's another little job ticked off and done. All of the cladding in the overhead cabinets is being finished off, with a bit of the PVC cladding on the top as well. The only thing left to do really is to get in there and put a little bit of caulking around all the edges, just to tidy it all up. But that'll be done when I'm getting down to the final finishing touches of the actual conversion. So a couple more bits and bobs I can get done today. I've got a couple of the John Guest speed fit connections that connect to the BSP for the water tank and the accumulator, so I'm going to get those connected up now as well, and then again it's just another small little job ticked off as well. So as I say, this weekend it's just a case of trying to get all the small little jobs done that I can while I'm waiting for the kitchen stuff to arrive. So I'll get those connections out and get those connected up and get the connections for the water all sorted out. Right guys, so that'll do it for today. I'll pick it up again tomorrow and try and get a few more bits and bobs done. But it's been a relatively productive day, just doing small little bits that still needed doing at the end of the day. So I've got all of the cladding, the PVC and the wood cladding finished off in the overhead lockers on both sides as well. Then I've also got the 240 volt first fit connected up with the electric hookup connected to the side of the vehicle. I've got the BSP connectors on the water pump and the water accumulator tank, and the pipework all connected up as well, so that's the water system and the water heater a step closer as well. And I also fed the 12 volt cable down for the water pump, fed it under the van, and that's coming up there, and that's going to be connected to the fuse box maybe tomorrow or soon as well, but I might put that on a switch just so the water pump can be turned on and off when needed, just so it's not going to be trying to pump away if there was an open pipe or anything like that. And then finally, as I say, I've also got the final finishing touches on the dimmer lights as well for the bathroom and the living area as well. So as I say, it's pretty much been a day of just odds and sods, little jobs that needed doing. So as I say, I've just been cracking on and getting them done. And as I say, that's around about it for today. I'll pick it up again tomorrow and see what else we can get done in this week's episode. Not sure what I'll get done tomorrow. We'll see what how I feel in the morning. But as I say, there's still plenty of small jobs that still need ticking off as well. So plenty to do. So as I say, I'll pick this back up tomorrow when we're ready to start cracking on again. Right guys, so it's the next day. And cracking on with more little bits and bobs, the odd jobs that all need doing and all need ticking off, rather than any big particular jobs this week. And the next one I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be replacing this tambour door that I'd put in the bathroom area. I was hoping to use this tambour door. It looks quite nice and neat, but I've got it fitted in. I've got it in on the runners at the moment, top and bottom, but when I'm sliding it, it's literally just falling over on the rails rather than sliding backwards and forwards as it should. Now thankfully I got this tambour door for free, so it hasn't cost me anything to at least try it, but as I say, it's just not quite working out as I wanted it, and I'm not going to spend any more time on it because I've already spent a couple of days in the background trying to get this working, and as I say, anything I'm doing to it, it's literally just flopping over to the side when I'm trying to open or close it. So instead I've been out and I've bought a folding PVC door instead. That's going to hang inside the bathroom area, again behind the door panel area. And that's just going to be a nice concertina type door that will be folding open and closed when you open and close the door. So first things first, I'm going to get this tambour door back out. I have to cut out the rails. Thankfully I didn't screw them down through the shower door. They're all just adhesived down. So a nice sharp knife, I'll be able to cut through all of that, get the rails back out, top and bottom. Then we'll get that concertina PVC door back in. Hopefully, as I say, that should be relatively simple and easy to fit as well. It will need cutting down in length, but other than that, it should be a pretty much straightforward fit. And if you're looking for a door like this as well, check the link in the description below. I'll go over to eBay where I've bought this type of stuff as well. So that's going to be the first job of the day, and then there's still going to be other jobs as well after I get this door sorted out, but that's going to be the first job I'm going to be starting with. So let's get some safety gear out, some tools out, and let's get cracked on. Right guys, so that's the shower door all fitted in now as well. And I say I'm much happier with that one compared to the tambour door that I had in earlier on. Because as I say, the tambour door, every time I was trying to open or close it, it was literally just flopping over to the side and falling straight out the rails. Whereas this one, it's going forwards and backwards, nice and smoothly, fully waterproof as well. All the water will just hit the door, run straight down to the bottom and drain off into the shower tray as well. It's taken me most of the day to do with this because the previous tambour door was tiger sealed in on the runners, so all that had to be cut out and stripped off, and then the new frame for this doors had to be put in as well. But I'm quite happy and pleased with how it's turned out. And I think that'll do it for this week's episode as well. As I say, yesterday was pretty much just a day of doing odd jobs around the van that all needed ticking off. And as I say, today I've managed to get that shower door fully replaced, so that's the shower room nearing completion now. All I've got to do now is get the toilet fitted in the bottom and get the hole cut for the waste exit as well, and then that'll be the bathroom pretty much done. Obviously with a little bit of trim going around the frame as well, but there's plenty of trim to be added. I've still got to trim all of the overhead cabinets as well, all around the frame, so all the trim's going to be put on probably towards the end of the build. But anyway, as I say, that'll do it for this week's episode. Hopefully you found it useful, informative. If you did, consider giving it a good old thumbs up. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button below. It's totally free to do. You can always unsubscribe in the future as well, but it does really help my channel grow as well. So as I say, thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you're looking for the shower door or anything else that I've been fitting throughout this conversion, always check the description below. That's where I put all the links going out to eBay where I bought all of the items. So hopefully I'll see you on next week's episode of this Mercedes minibus campervan conversion. Thanks for watching. Cheers.